Hello guys, and welcome back, and finally able to shoot another video. I've been busy with work and just been hard to find time to do it, but well, actually, in all honesty, I've actually been out here running trains for about the past week. Really haven't done too much as far as layout construction is concerned. I was a little bit burned out, so it's been nice to be able to get out here and run trains. Just, you know, kind of setting up car classifications and stuff, just moving them around the train yard. So it was kind of fun to do. But I wanted to show you guys the finished control panel, and as you can see, my LED lights are working, and everything turned out the way I had planned for it to turn out. I can tell you this though, it's a lot of wiring if you plan on doing block control, DC block control. It is a lot of wiring. Actually, the block control is really not too much wiring. It was really wiring up the under the table switches along with the LEDs, because I don't know if you remember from a couple of videos prior to this one, you have to, if you're using the Atlas under the table switches, you have to use the snap relay in conjunction with those in order to keep the LED lights on. Reason being is because you have to use a momentary switch with the under the table switch, or you'll burn the solenoid up in the under the table switch. So with a momentary switch, it'll you know, once you make your selection, the toggle will flip back down into the middle position, which, you know, cuts the power, breaks the current, so your LED light doesn't stay on. But as you can see, everything is working fine. I can tell you this though, if you do decide to do this, do it this way, you probably want to get a little bit more resilient momentary switch. The ones I used are, as you can see, they're kind of cheap actually, small. I got them because they were small. The problem I ran into was, you know, as you're soldering your wire onto the terminals on the back side of this, you can't leave applied heat from your soldering iron on there for very long, or what it does is it burns the whatever's holding these terminals in place inside this casing. It melts it, and it causes the terminal to be loose, which creates a short. And what I found was happening is you know, I'd get it installed and everything would seem to work, and then I'd start running into a short, you know, as I started to use the switch. So I'd have to pull it out of line and replace it. I think I did about 2 or 3 that way. So you might want to be mindful of that. Back on the block control, you know, both these switches are on position switches. The toggle switch corresponds to the cab selection 1 and 2 for the auto pulse power unit here, and then the slide switch reverses the polarity in the track so that you can change the direction of the locomotive. So the other thing is that in wiring up a DC layout, if you do want to have block selection, is the fact that it takes a lot of wire to do this. So basically, you know, for each block, you have you know, your positive and your common going out to the actual segment of track or block, if you will. And then for the momentary switches, you have 3 wires coming in from the snap relay, as well as 2 wires coming in from the snap relay for the lights. So, you know, you basically, if you 10 blocks here, I had 20 wires going out, and then coming in, 13 times 5, well, that's 65. So I had 65 wires coming in. So it's a lot of wiring. I wouldn't let that discourage you. The thing is it's repetitive. So when you go to, you know, wire up one of these individual components, wire up the components for the blocks. It's just the same repetitive process over and over again. Same thing for the LEDs and the momentary switch. So let me open up the control panel. You'll see what I'm saying. So yeah, it's it's a rat's nest, but it's an organized rat's nest. Don't let all that wiring intimidate you. Like I said, it really was not difficult. As you can see, I've got labels labeled up. The L's, everything prefixed with the L corresponds to the lights, the momentary switching, and the momentary switches, and then the B's denote the power leads for the blocks. And so again, as you can see here, I've got these connectors, all these connectors. So if I needed to pull something out of line when it fails, which in this case it happened 2 or 3 times in the momentary switches, I was able to pull those out very easily and just you know, make the appropriate corrections that I needed to. So yeah, it is a lot of wire, but it was well worth it. I've got a lot of control over this layout without having to revert to DCC. Now, my plan from the beginning, I've always had on the back of my mind anyway, is I want to run DCC as well. And so I am going to do that. I'm going to be able to run DC and DCC. So when I get ready to incorporate that into the layout, I'll shoot some video on that as well. But let me see if I can get up underneath here and show you what the wiring looks like. And as you can see, well, first of all, on the L girder here, I took a hose saw, I guess is what they call it, for like installing doorknobs or whatever. This is actually this is only a 1-inch diameter hole, but I was able to drill holes in the L girders to feed the wires through. Look at the difference between just the power leads versus, you know, the lights. There's a big difference. But it organized well. I just twisted everything up, made it nice and neat, excuse me. And the twisting of the wire helps with the conductivity of the wire as well. So, so yeah, I mean, I think it's pretty well organized. If you look up at the under the table switch and the snap relay, you can see the 5 wires coming out of the snap relay that go to the momentary switch and the LEDs. And it's like that for every turnout. So it turned out well. Assuming you can see down that way. It's actually pretty easy to install. I was pleased with how it turned out. You know, the embedding of the under the table switch, I liked how that turned out. So I'm pleased with the overall outcome. But what I also did is I took, so like if you can see these wire nuts, this is for, let me zoom out a little bit if I can. I don't know if that's focusing it. I don't think it is. Maybe it is. I hope it is. This label here says B9. It's block 9, and these are my power leads coming in from the slide switch on the control panel, and then I've got it just attached to my drop wires here with wire nuts. Now, I'm only going to be running 2 bus wires under here, and 1 bus wire for the main and 1 bus wire for the industrial branch. Both tracks totaling approximately about, I don't know, probably about 70 feet, I guess. The main line is about 35 feet, and the industrial branch is about 35 feet. So I'm going to drop feeders probably every 5 feet, just for those 2 tracks. The rest of the the blocks did not really need that much. They didn't need a bus line, that'd be overkill because they're not very long. I'm waiting on my connectors, so I don't have the bus wire installed yet. So you can see I just temporarily got it wired up here. And I do notice a little bit of a dip in the power as the locomotive gets further away from where I've got it temporarily wired up here. So, but that'll be the next step. I was kind of hoping to get that in before I shot the video, but I'm still waiting on the suitcase connectors, which I'll be running 16 gauge wire for the bus wire. So 18 would probably do just fine, but I bought a bunch of 16, so I figured I'd use it up. So that's about how it looks. Like I said, everything is running just fine. One of the cool things I did do, that I've been working on is, if you can look at 7664 down there, let me see if I can zoom in on him. So he's sitting on the main line right now. So if I come in here to block 1, corresponds to the main line. So, and right now I've got cab 2 selected, and so it's just he's sitting idle. There's no power going to the track because the center position is off. If I come over here and kill the power for cab 2, let's go ahead and put him in forward position. Now watch the light. See that? I don't know if you can see the lights on there, but yet he's not going anywhere. It's characteristic of, of what you'd see with DCC. You don't see that in DC because, well, you need to be supplying the light with some power, which we are. But here's what let me turn it off. You can sit there and control the light too. It's kind of cool. But here's how I was able to achieve that, and I'll probably do some videos on this, and I'll put a link for the guy that I picked, that I learned this from. A great instructional video. I don't even know if you can see these little micro LEDs here. Zoom out there. Look how thin the wire is on that. It's like a hair. I ordered these off eBay, and it doesn't take much to power them. That's why I was able just to barely turn up the power on the cab, and the light would come on the locomotive. It's not enough power to move the locomotive, but it's enough to turn the LED light on. And then also inside the locomotive, I put some resistors in there so I wouldn't blow the LED. But it's actually really cool. It turned out great. I still got to go back and actually glue the LEDs in. I've just been kind of testing it out. I think I may put some ditch lights on all my locomotives and use those LEDs for the ditch lights as well. But right now I've got a light on the front and the back, so that's kind of cool. I might shoot a video on that and show you how I did that. But yeah, this is how it's turning out so far. Next thing I've got to do is start painting my track, and then I'm gonna come in and start ballasting. And in the meantime, I'll be installing my turntable as well. So that's where I'm at with it, guys. I hope you enjoyed it, and we will see you in the next video.